Here are my top 5-minute games for the ESL or EFL classroom. The first one is Would You Rather. So this is when students make a choice between two impossible things or just two kind of simple things. Would you rather have coffee or tea? Would you rather be trapped in an elevator for 10 hours or have to stay in your room for 10 days and not leave? The second idea I have is hot potato. So this is just kind of a fun little simple game. Students pass around an object and you can find hot potato music on YouTube. Then when the music stops, who's ever holding that object has to do a task. So whatever that task is, it really is up to you and it depends on the level of students. But this is kind of just a fun way to just generate some excitement and just kind of some fun in the classroom. The next idea for a 5-minute game is 20 questions. So I'm sure you've played this before. So this is when someone chooses a person, a place, or a thing, and then the other people have to ask questions to try to figure out what it is. But the catch is that they only have 20 questions to figure it out. Okay, so the next idea I have is name 5 things. So put students into pairs or small groups and they can each have a pen and piece of paper. And I could say name 5 farm animals. They have to quickly write them down and the first team to put that writes all 5 down, they put their hand up and you can check and they get a point. Or name 5 kinds of food you can find at an amusement park, something like that. And they can quickly write down 5 things. So just whatever it is, and of course it depends on the level of your students as well. The next simple game is Hangman. So of course this is a classic. I don't love to do it that much, but it can be quite fun to do once in a while. Hangman I find is a bit gruesome, so I like to do a spider instead. So you draw a little body and the legs and the eyes and the nose on that. The next idea for a 5-minute game is mixed up sentences. So write some sentences kind of targeting the grammar or vocabulary that you want to focus on, but then mix them up in terms of word order. Students have to work together with a partner to try to unscramble the sentences. So if you want to do just like a little 5-minute activity, I recommend maybe like 2 or 3 or 4 sentences. Another idea for a 5-minute game is telephone. So I'm sure you've done this before. So put students into teams. I find that like maybe 5 or 6 or 7 students works well and they all stand in a line. So team 1, team 2, team 3. That first person, they can come outside the classroom and then I give them a sentence depending on the level of the students. So for very beginners, I might say like, the cat is orange. And then those students go back and they whisper it to the next person in line, that cat is orange. But the key is they can only whisper it once and they can only say it once. So of course the message gets garbled and that person passes their garbled message to the next person. And finally, by the time it reaches the end, it might be like the dog is hungry or something. It could turn into this totally different sentence. And you can check and then you can compare the last person with what the original person said. The next idea for a 5-minute game is a 5-minute debate. So choose something a little bit controversial and then you can write it on the board. So for example, cats are the best pet. And then get all the students to stand up and then you could appoint corners. So over here might be like, yes, cats are the best pet. Here, no, they're not a great pet. Then maybe like in the middle can be kind of undecided. So I say, everyone stand up, go to whatever corner that you agree with or stand in the middle if you're undecided. And then once everyone is standing up, I kind of elicit some reasons why. People think, why they think for, why they think against, and why the people are undecided. Another idea for a 5-minute activity is the alphabet game. So I put students into small groups and I get them to write the alphabet vertically on a piece of paper. So A, B, C, D, E, and then down all the way to Z. And then I give them a topic. So for example, animals. And I say, okay, you have 3 minutes. Write down as many animals as you can that start with that letter, but only 1 animal per letter. So they might write like bat, fish, tiger, etc. And at the end of the time, I get them to count how many they have. And the team that wins is the team that has the most number of animals. The final 5-minute activity I have is Boggle. So maybe you've played this game before and you can actually buy the Boggle game, or it's easy enough to make your own. So you can write up like a grid, maybe like a 5x5, and then you could put letters, like just in a random fashion. So like A, D, S, T, etc. And then students can make words using those letters. But the key is you can only use the letter once in a word, and you can go like horizontally, vertically, diagonally, etc. So I get students to write down as many words as possible within the allotted time. Okay, so that's it for my 5-minute games that you can do with ESL or EFL students. Please be sure to check out my book, 103 Low Prep ESL Speaking Activities and Games. And please hit like, subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.